Hola, buenos dias. Take out your spiral notebook and open to a new page and label it with the title you see there on your screen, Verb Concepts. I'm going to go through this much faster than if we were doing this live in class, knowing that you can hit pause anytime and take notes and then also answer the comprehension questions. So first of all, a review of verb infinitives. Verb infinitives are those verbs in their concept form, and in Spanish they end in AR, ER, or IR. In English they start with the word to speak, to be, to have. In Spanish that would be hablar, ser, tener. And the term conjugation means to change a verb into its correct form, given the subject and the verb tense. So the verb to be is the, but its conjugated forms are I am, you are, he is, or say an English teacher told you, conjugate the verb to be into the present tense, then you would say I am, you are, we are, she is, he is. Remember to pause as needed. Okay, so this is a big one in foreign language class, verb charts. Foreign language teachers and students all T-charts, because usually you're going to see it here as a grid of 2 columns and 3 rows, but normally people just draw the big T that you see. So the 2 columns are singular and plural. Singular is going to mean that there's only one person doing the action. So I, just me, you, just one person, just you. Third person is going to be who we're talking about. It's going to be he or she or somebody's name. And the plural means that there's more than one person doing the action. So we, so me and the person with me, we. Not just you, but you guys. Not just him or her, but they. So take good notes on this. And then here's further explanation of what I was just saying. So in the first person singular space, that's going to be me. And then second person is the person I'm talking to. So that's going to be you or you guys. And then third person in language is who or what we're talking about. And then of course it's got singular, plural, so pause the video, take notes here, maybe jot down some questions that you have if this isn't making sense. Google something if it's not making sense. So here we see a verb chart laid out with the English subject pronoun. So first person singular is I. When we say first person plural, that's going to be me and the person with me, we. Second person singular is you, the person I'm talking directly to, and then plural is you guys. And then we can see third person is he or she or it or somebody's name or an object, the desk, whatever we're talking about or whoever we're talking about. And then of course the plural is they. So here's an English verb laid out on a T-chart. So English verbs don't change much. The only one that really changes is the third person singular in English gets an S on the end of it usually. It usually gets an S or an ES. So he talks, he dances. We have a couple irregular verbs, and our verb to be is he is instead of he bees. And our verb to have, instead of he haves, it's he has. But mostly they're pretty simple in English. There aren't really verb endings. You take off the word to, and then you add your subject, and then all except for third person singular, they don't really change. I talk, you talk, we talk. Take good notes on that. And now a verb chart with the irregular Spanish verb to be. This isn't how most of the verbs are in Spanish. This one's irregular, just like the English verb. In English, it's I am, you are, he is. So I think you get the point here, so let's move on to the next slide. Sorry, I thought my next slide was going to be the forms to be in Spanish, but here it is there. But let me skip that for a moment, actually. So here's a review of the subject pronouns. We covered it a week or two ago. Jot this down if you need to. Don't spend time doing it if you've already got it, just like a page back in your notes. But you can see how the Spanish subject pronouns lay out on one of these T-charts. And then, now here's our verb to be in Spanish. It's ser. And so the way this verb goes is, notice that it's got 6 different forms. In English, we've only got 2 forms because most of them are the same on our verbs. And then this one is, though it's got a different form for all of them. Well, I take it back on our verb to be. It's I am, you are, he is. So we have 3 forms on this one. So jot that down and pause as long as you need to. A few more things. Why did the usted and ustedes move to third person for the conjugated verb? Usted and ustedes are used with the third person in Spanish to seem like you're not talking at the person you're supposed to be respectful to. Also notice the accent marks on tú and el. This is a review. I know we covered this a week or 2 ago. And then another note is that yo is only capitalized if it starts a sentence. It's not always capitalized like I is in English. Okay, I know that was fast, but I'm sure that you paused and took notes as needed and answered the questions as needed.